Hello, my friends, and welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition homebrew campaign. I am your most gracious DM, VGpunx. I almost said Commander VGpunx again. It's been years, and I'm still doing that shit. All right. It's been a couple weeks. We had some technical difficulties on the last session, but those should be hammered out at this point. We should be doing a lot better. So, yeah, if there are any audio issues that y'all out there in the metaverse can isolate, let me know, or if you hear anything wrong, just let me know, and I'll get on that shit immediately. But other than that, let's get right to it. Does anyone here remember what happened last time? Remember not the technical difficulties, but the last time before the technical difficulties.
Well, I mean, I know we went to this temple to try to figure out, or at least to talk with the druids folks to see if they could help us with the disease, or at least with some of the disappearance issues. Anyway,
Right. You met someone named Jalis Woodheart, and I've added an entry into the people section of your journal that includes this picture right here. We finally have a full picture. Did that work? Okay, yeah, it worked. We finally have a full picture of this person. That's Jalis, and she's the one that is now accompanying you to the Verdant Enchantra, which, if you recall, that is the forest that surrounds the lovely city of Shopabin.
certainly has a nice rack of horns.
Womp, 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 womp.
Let me get some mood music. All right, everybody should be hearing that. Hopefully it's not too loud. But yeah. So at this point, Jalis has led you through the city. You've had some time to kind of chat with her on the way there. As you recall from last time, she immediately recognized Iolanthe as being this entity that she had previously had this prophetic dream about.
Just to be clear, she hasn't. She explained last time in our technical difficulty stream what the vision was, but can we have that one more time for this time?
Absolutely. So she had mentioned that her dream had this message from Llanwyllin, saying, "Await the wolf carried by magic and bearing the mark of Llanwyllin." She was also given, I guess, some sort of a picture or a mental image of you, that when she saw your face, was immediately able to identify you as that person from her vision. At first, you were a little bit hesitant to accept her offer to come and meet with the elder, and in the Verdant Enchantra. She didn't seem very willing to force you into such an act. And I guess that unwillingness is what sort of built a little bit more trust with between the two of you. At least enough to where you agreed to follow, along with the rest of the party, of course, into the Verdant Enchantra.
Okay. Well, once Iolanthe realized that these druids were different from the ones that she's familiar with, she relaxed and decided to go along with Jalis to visit the elder. And she offered up the choice to the others to see if they would like to come along or if they'd prefer to go back to the city to solve the mysteries. And I think everybody agreed to come along. Is that right?
Yep.
Tess is along for the ride.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Iolanthe looks at Jalis and says, "Can you tell me a bit more about this elder?"
The elder has been the leader of our temple for as far back as when I started here. What is to say about him? He is very close with our Lady Goddess.
I should like to meet him then.
Ah, yes, he too is subject to the, similar visions and messages as the one I received just several nights before, your arrival.
But I don't understand. Why did Llanwyllin decide that I needed to be here?
That is not for me to say.
I see.
Perhaps the Elder might have more wisdom or, I guess that is yet to be seen.
Iolanthe just kind of nods and takes a deep puff of her pipe. And then she kind of thinks for a second. She says, you mentioned healing at the temple. Have you been noticing more people getting sick or anything strange, I guess?
No more than the usual. Of course, with the plague spreading across Solterra, we've definitely had quite a few people with false alarms, let's call them.
I see. What, in what way?
Oh, mostly just the paranoid type. Simple cough might set someone off, and they come storming into the temple as though suddenly the disease is spread into Viridia.
Oh, I see.
But no, their ailments are easily cured. We can only hope for such for the, those into the medical pursuits in Solterra. Lucky for us, we've yet been able to prevent the epidemic from spreading into Viridia.
Iolanthe looks to Ianfear and says, well, it doesn't seem like this will help us solve our mystery, but I am curious what will happen once we meet this elder.
And speaking of which, here we are. And she gestures toward the end of the cobblestone street. It sort of fades into this dirt and otherwise well-trodden trail that leads right into this really dense forest. Anybody who, all of you who are like within range here, you immediately are just like the magic of this place just sweeps through you. Like it is very obviously enchanted. In what way though is unclear.
Ooh.
Tess feels toasty.
Yes, that's the magic of the forest. It's inviting, isn't it?
Very warm. Feels like home.
Is this Llanwyllin's doing? Or something else?
I believe it is Llanwyllin's doing.
Iolanthe nods and takes another drag of her pipe. I hope this is not a no-smoking forest.
The forest has it contains the bounty of nature, and beyond that, many come into the forest to commune with Llanwyllin or commune with, with the planet. It is a place of connection, vision. Many come here to experience visions, or many come to, find themselves or become closer with nature. This is what originally brought me to Shoppen.
Iolanthe just kind of stands there. I don't even think that she's really listening to Jalis at this point. She's just kind of like got her eyes closed and her head like tilted up towards the sky, just like taking in the feel of the forest and the magic.
As you cross the threshold where these trees are they almost create like a wall around each side of this path, and as you continue the walk, the path becomes more of sort of a grassy area. You can only tell that it's still the path because there are these very distinct trail of rocks along either side that kind of lead you through.
Okay, I guess we continue on down the rocks.
She does continue to lead you down the trail. Before long, she starts to move toward one of the sides of the road. This is what will break from
Is it like a forked road or?
Oh, no, it's not a forked road. She's actually starting to lead you just into the forest.
Oh, okay.
There are many isolated places in this realm. The ones you'll find here are perhaps more isolated than most. And you'll understand what I mean when we arrive. She produces sort of this crystalline it's almost like a looking glass, but it's sort of a not spherical, it's like a circular shape, and she looks down into it, and as you glance at it, it doesn't look like there's anything happening there, but she stows it back somewhere in her in like one of her many pockets. Ah, yes.
Okay.
We're almost there. If you'll follow me, please.
You're not going to murder us in the middle of the forest and leave our bodies here, are you?
No. That would be, against the balance. You understand.
Tess trusts you.
It would be what they say in the business, not cool.
That's not cool.
That's not cool. She continues to lead you through the forest. I would like Iolanthe to go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Wow.
That would be
You have a very high perception.
Ain't nothing getting past me.
I mean, it also.
As you move through the trees, you become sensitive to the things that are around you, various entities, birds, wildlife, that sort of thing. But one thing that continues to catch your eye is this strange white something.
When you say white, you mean like the color, not like the moving zombie thing, right?
No, the color white.
Okay.
And it is, it seems to be
D&D, you have to clarify sometimes these things.
It seems to be following you through the forest, but it never approaches directly.
Does anybody else seem to see it? Or like notice it?
No.
Iolanthe stops suddenly and kind of like looks at it. Like, does it keep moving if she stops?
As soon as you look, it's gone.
She blinks her eyes a few times and shakes her head and thinks to herself, like, must have been a glare from the sunlight. And then she kind of nervously takes another drag of her pipe and keeps moving forward.
Interestingly, though, you can feel its presence, but you know not what it is.
It's a spooky ghost.
You travel for a time, and before long you're led into a clearing where a single robed figure sits, very small, where he has sort of a smallish frame. He sits there, staff in hand, sort of leaning over on it, even though he's sort of in a sitting position, set atop a log, and just kind of staring peacefully out into the this clearing. Falscrey, I've located the one from the vision. There, the figure sort of seems to turn its head toward you.
Could you repeat the name one more time for me, please?
Falscrey.
Falscrey. Okay.
Falscrey is the name that she says. It sort of turns toward you and the rest of the group, although you're still not able to see the face of the figure. It hops down off of this log and hobbles over to you, its hood over its head, obscuring its face from view.
Iolanthe kind of backs away a little bit cautiously.
As it approaches, it reaches up and pulls the hood from his head, and before you stands a small goblin. Little tusks jutting out from his jaw. Oh. There we go. Little tusks jutting out from his jaws, and a very large nose. There's also a tattoo on his head, sort of a swirling, almost Celtic-like symbol. Iolanthe, you do recognize these as symbols that are pretty common among the temple.
Okay.
He says, yes. You're the one from the vision. And he points at you.
Iolanthe kind of gulps and kind of takes a tentative step forward, and she says, so it seems. What,
Yeah, what?
You
Never seen a goblin druid before?
Tess has to admit, this is not what Tess was expecting. You are so tiny.
Well, I'm used to that, you know. I kind of get the same reaction a lot from people. Now that you're here, and Chalice, thank you very much for your service. I'll take it from here if you would mind returning to the temple and to your duties.
Of course. And she turns around to you, Tess, and the rest of you. It was nice making your acquaintance.
Nice meeting you. Thanks for bringing us here.
I will guide you.
You as well.
Well, let's get on with things, shall we? Why don't we start with the usual formalities? Tell me about yourself, please.
Me?
Sure.
What do you want to know?
Where are you from? What brought you to, receive the mark of Llanwyllin?
He gestures towards your face.
And she kind of automatically goes up to kind of touch it, the scar. And she kind of looks away for a second, then she says, it's kind of a strange story. I'm not sure you'll believe me. But as to where I'm from, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at reading maps, but I believe it's up north of here. A land called Bria.
Bria. I've been to Bria. It's a beautiful
She
place.
shrinks away when he says that.
You seem to not have a good connection to your home. I won't pry.
Basically, we're here because there's a series of strange events that have, kind of led us here. We're trying to figure out how to stop whatever is happening, and we don't really know how.
A series of strange events, you say? Wouldn't be the first time I heard of that.
Yes, it seems people are disappearing, but not in a way that leaves any trace of them behind. People don't seem to remember they exist. It makes finding them a little difficult, and she kind of laughs a little nervously.
When did you first learn about this?
She looks to Ian Fear to kind of fill in the gaps here.
I mean, so we were first becoming aware of something being odd when one of our friends sort of got a request for a mission. Well, maybe not so much a mission, more sort of a task, really. But as we sort of were about this task of retrieving a book, it sort of started to evolve into this unusual mystery, which had people basically disappearing.
And they even leave behind evidence. We have found a diary. We've seen empty homes. But nobody remembers them when they're gone.
Not just disappearances either. Somebody, a friend of Ian Fear's here, is seemingly back from the dead with no memory of ever having died. It's all a little... And Iolanthe kind of stops talking because she just realizes how completely ridiculous all this sounds when you say it out loud, and she just kind of like rubs her temples like, we're a little in over our heads, I think, and we could use a bit of guidance. But and she shakes her head and she says, I don't understand what any of this has to do with me. Or what... I'm just a druid. I don't... Why is there a vision about me?
That's not really something I can say. But I can get you started finding your own answers.
I'm listening.
At first and foremost, as you already know, I'm Falscrey. Falscrey of the Circle is what they call me. Not the name I was born with, but it's the name that came to me when I arrived here. Obviously, I'm a goblin. I originate, actually, from North Malia. We and my tribe, we traveled all over. Doing some, less than lawful stuff. When I arrived here, this place, the Enchantra, that's what they call it now. It brought me a clarity, so to speak. Changed me. He kind of pauses, looks thoughtful.
I see.
I decided to stay, and this was a long time ago, you understand. When the temple formed, I was here. I was one of the first, I was one of the first to receive a vision. And when I went to the temple, it's almost as if they already knew who I was. Look, the reason I'm telling you all this is that the forest, the Enchantra, is a place of guidance. If you're able to clear your mind, it's possible that you too could receive this guidance, receive that clarity. Do you feel like you're up to the task?
Iolanthe looks around the forest a little bit and says, well, I feel pretty comfortable, pretty at home here. I could give it a shot. Well, what do I need to do?
Well, let's start with something So I'm a druid, not a fucking mind reader. What's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not good at. My name is Iolanthe. And then she turns around and she says, "And these are my friends. This is Tess,
Hello.
Val, and Ian, and we have another friend, but he's sick, I think, or asleep. I forget.
Sleeping.
Oh,
And this is Scrito. She'll point down to little Scrito. She's been
Oh, wait,
holding
actually,
his hand
quick,
through
quick,
or his
quick-
wing.
quick question. Are the we had the gnome with us too, right?
Justice is there too.
Is he just kind of?
He's been kind of quiet this entire time, as has Val. Both of them have just kind of been trailing behind.
Oh, okay. And she gestures to Yestus too, and she says, "And this is a new friend of ours who's investigating some of the disappearances, but even between the 5 of us, we haven't had much luck."
I'm an investigator from South Malia. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. You have a colorful band. I'd love to hear a story about how you all met sometime, but why don't we come into the clearing here, and we'll start getting set up, shall we?
Okay. And then she turns to the others and she says, It's not too late if y'all want to turn back, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen. If you're okay to stay, I think I could use some friends at my side."
Tess will stay to make sure that everything goes according to plan.
I find this
Yeah.
quite interesting myself.
Yes, just
And then-
kind of still looking around, kind of bewildered by the whole thing. It's just like,
Oh, sure, can't hurt.
Thanks for spending the time with us, Eustace.
That's Yestis.
Oh. Sorry.
You know, as
Tess.
opposed to notice.
"Stupid Tess, you made me look bad. Booga booga boo." All right. Iolanthe nods at everybody and turns back to the I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Falscrey.
Falscrey. Okay. And she says, "I guess lead the way."
We're here. Just a little bit
Oh.
of setup to do, and then we'll get started. It's important to relax your mind. You understand? You need to be open to the you need to be open to certain wavelengths. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but
She puts her pipe up to her mouth and she's like, "Away ahead of you," and takes a big old deep drag.
You're suddenly reminded of that very moment in your history, when you originally received the what's now being called the Mark of Llanwyllin. When you felt your soul just torn asunder and put back together. But before that, when you lay dying, there was this moment of clarity. There was this moment of like complete peace. Before that, you felt that connection made, before your soul was torn apart, before it was placed back together.
Oh.
Just for a moment, you can feel that feeling once more, but no sooner than you recognize it, it is faded away.
Huh. And she kind of slowly lowers the pipe down to her side, just kind of staring at nothing.
Now, if I could get your help, and he like pulls out of this rather small looking bag, he pulls this really thick hunk of wood that seems to be formed into a staff and hands it to you. It has what looks to be like a big wooden brush on one side.
She kind of cautiously takes it and examines it in her hands. And then she kind of like swings it like if she's about to hit somebody with it.
Whoa, calm down there. Now,
Oh, I'm sorry. And she holds it up.
He sort of gestures into the clearing where you see these stones sort of strewn about the area.
I'd like you to move these into a sort of circular pattern using the staff, if you will.
So sort of like a Zen garden, he's asking you to move these stones into place.
Oh, okay. What do I need to roll or?
You know what? Go ahead and roll a wisdom
Or just kind of
check.
do it?
Go ahead and roll a
Oh.
wisdom check for me.
Hey, you know which room you came into? The wrong room. Oh, maybe not. I don't know how to move things.
Oh, no. While you understand the instructions, this particular method is unknown to you.
Okay, so like if I'm picturing in my head like a like one of those kind of wide brooms, but like kind of the staff version of that, and I'm just kind of like sweeping rocks into a little circle.
That's
Is that right?
You're like forming a circle with these rocks.
Okay, I'm using all arms and back, no leg, apparently.
Yeah, I mean they're not huge. They're not difficult to move. Just like I said, the wisdom check was to see if you recognize this.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. You've never seen this before.
So I just scoot the rocks around. Is there anything like in the middle, like a fire or anything? Or just kind of scoot them into a random circle?
Nope, just a circle in the clearing.
Okay. And then she kind of stands off to the side of it with her staff and looks proudly at excuse me, at Falscrey, and just kind of is like, I think I did it. What's next?
have a seat.
In the circle?
Around the circle. But yes.
Oh, okay. And she sits down with the staff, I guess, kind of across her lap.
That'll work. The rest of you? You want to join in?
Tess sits down next to Iolanthe, but kind of following the outside rim of the circle.
She leans over to Tess and says, I'm not really sure what's going on. I feel like I should know what's happening, but I've never seen this kind of ritual before.
Tess has
sit
no
along
idea
the
either.
side I'll sit along the other side of Tess, and I'll say, I mean, it is magic, and nature, so who are we to sort of figure this out?
Guess this kind of assumes one of the spots around the circle, and Val walks over and with a loud clunk, he kind of falls down on his butt and into a sitting.
Is this right? Am I in the right place? Yeah, that's fine. Now, you're gonna remain here. You try to clear your mind. Close your eyes, hum, smoke, whatever you think you gotta do. I'll be, close. If you need me, just call out for me, okay?
Okay.
The visions that you might receive here, they can sometimes startle some folks. Just know that no matter what, you're safe, okay?
Will we all see the same thing or different things?
Well, it depends. Really on the connection that you have together.
I see. Very well.
Some people do, some people don't, you know? like I said, I'll be close by if you need me.
He starts to kind of hobble off with his little cane. You see him kind of pull out a
Oh,
pipe.
do you
on
need
the
your
way.
staff back?
This is
Hang on to it. Don't lose it.
Okay. Okay. And then Iolanthe looks into the center of the circle and says, clear your mind. Clear your mind.
You should
Oh.
probably not say that out loud.
No, she's trying to think of how best to clear her mind, and then she has an idea, and she pulls out the pan flute that she carries with her and plays a couple of little notes on it. She usually plays that whenever she needs to kind of ease the transition from one mind to the other, i.e., from animal to her.
You always play the same notes on it.
Yes.
Okay, no performance check or anything necessary. This is you've been through these motions hundreds of times probably, and here we are.
Yeah, but this time she's kind of doing it a little bit backwards because she's trying to go from her own mind to the mind of a wolf. So I don't know if I need to roll anything for that. Maybe a wisdom or something. I don't know.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll a wisdom check here. In fact, let me get a wisdom check from the entire group. Got a 9 from Iolanthe.
Jesus. I am not feeling very wise today.
Rolling stuff off screen.
I rolled a nat.
apparently
Natty.
Tess is pretty wise today.
Did I
Tess is in
actually-
the zone.
Tess got very good sleep last night.
And she's got a full belly and lots of ale in her belly.
Tess ate her Wheaties.
She's like maximum Tess.
Maximum Tess. Tess, you... How to put this? You are suddenly filled, just completely... this feeling of warmth and comfort and balance just washes over you. It cleanses your mind. It makes you relaxed, feel relaxed all over.
This feels nice.
Iolanthe, you have Iolanthe and Ianfear, you both have a bit of trouble concentrating. And you kind of open your eyes momentarily to see Val sitting there sort of scratching his head, but Yestis just in a complete state of zen.
Well, I'm glad the NPC is having a good time.
You continue to focus until finally that same feeling that I described before washes over the both of you, Iolanthe and Fear, in turn. Iolanthe, go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
Well, thank God I have a high perception because my rolls suck tonight.
Before long, as you sit, eyes shut, face toward the canopy of the trees that hang over either side of the small clearing, you feel a presence right in front of you.
She peeks open one eye.
Right before you, let's see if I can grab this. Yep, right in front of you, actually laying calmly in the grass, right in the center of the circle, is the biggest white wolf you have ever seen. and it is just laying in the grass, staring directly at you.
Iolanthe makes eye contact and plays a more fast, like more smooth variation of the notes she plays on her flute.
It
Like, I think this one would be more of a performance because she's kind of playing it for the wolf.
You all hear the melody change, and perhaps you open your eyes, perhaps not. I'll leave that up to you individually. But if you do, you also see the self-same wolf.
Tess opens her eyes and kind of breathes in real quick. Tries not to panic.
It just seems to be sat calmly in the grass.
Iolanthe reaches her hand over and holds Tess's, and she pulls the pan flute away and whispers, "It's okay."
Okay.
The wolf still staring directly at you, Iolanthe. There is a almost otherworldly voice that comes to you, and it seems like it comes from everywhere. It doesn't seem like it originates from any one place, but you hear it all the same. You come seeking guidance.
Iolanthe very slowly stands up and bows to the wolf, and she says, "We need a direction."
Direction. You're here.
"I'm here. What will you have me do?"
You know of this already, but it bears saying. There was a tear in time, and several artifacts were brought through the plane of mirrors. Artifacts not only containing the weave of magic, but also the thread of fate, of time. You know of the artifacts of which I speak, yes?
Iolanthe would know, or she has no idea?
Oh, you absolutely do know. You're
Okay.
immediately, your thoughts immediately go to those orbs that Healthius has taken.
Oh, okay. She nods and kind of narrows her eyes at the thought of Healthius.
Find the one who has taken these orbs. Return them from whence they came.
And this will fix everything?
It will be a start. I fear
What?
if we are not quick on the attack, horrible, awful things may come to pass. Time itself may unravel. Those of us who exist, well, in the realm of the gods, could even be at risk.
What of the mirror?
The gateway.
Hmm. The mirror, you must protect it for now, until you're able to bring those artifacts back to their correct place and time. Not an easy task, but one that only you and your friends can do.
I see. And Iolanthe sighs and says, "Do you know where we must go to get these artifacts?"
I'm afraid that information is constantly in flux. The one you call Healthius, he now transcends the threads of fate. He attempts to control that which no mortal should. Your fates are bound with the orbs. Only you can pass through the mirror to their point of origin. And only you can bring about their pacification. When you arrive, you will know what to do.
And Iolanthe, she puts she puts a hand over her heart and kind of goes down to one knee, her head bowed a little bit, and she says, "We'll do what we can, mighty goddess."
I know.
She clambers to her feet slowly. She's a hulking wolf. She stands a bit taller than Val, who is 7 foot tall. If that gives you a little bit of context there. So yeah, she is huge.
Big puppy.
And
Go
Iolanthe
now.
stands back up.
She says, "Go now, with my blessing." You once again feel this feeling of warmth, and it washes over all of you. She turns around, and she passes actually right by you. Her fur brushes against your arm. It's soft. It's very soft and very comforting, and she moves into the trees and vanishes from your sight.
Well, that was an experience.
It sounds like we've got, well, quite a task.
Was that Llanwyllin?
And Iolanthe turns to Val and nods and says, when I dream, sometimes I see her, and she always looks like, well, a giant white wolf."
The captain is going to be so jealous.
Iolanthe laughs.
Yestis is wide-eyed, still sitting there, hasn't budged.
Oh man, and he's a gnome. It probably was huge to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
I'm
tiny.
gonna say when Yestis was talking with the priest, I imagine that it's the first time you actually get to look eye to eye with person.
And Iolanthe kind of looks around the forest, and she's like, "I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm a bit unsure how this particular ritual goes. I'm not sure if that was it or if we need to stay." It also seems like we don't have a lead where to go.
Indeed. I wonder... Well, the Llanwyllin, I suppose, did mention that we are here. Do you suppose that she meant this place or the city in general?
I don't think Llanwyllin ventures to the cities very much. It must be here in the forest.
What could be here? Answers? Seems to be more questions.
Well, Llanwyllin came to me and gave me this information and came to the others and called me the Wolf of Llanwyllin. So maybe I need to try things in my more preferred form. And she touches to her hand to her amulet and closes her eyes, and it glows, and she starts to transform back into her wolf form.
Go ahead and roll a. Let's have a wisdom ability check, please.
Oh, good. I've been doing great at that today. Oh, but wait, I need to roll it as the wolf, right?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Let me take care of that for you.
Shoot, maybe I should have rolled it as Iolanthe.
Are you turning into a regular wolf or a dire wolf?
I guess the regular wolf.
Bam, you're a wolf.
I'm a wolf.
Wolf, wolf,
And you
wolf,
said
wolf, wolf.
a wisdom. Oh, my wisdom's the same as a wolf. What the hell?
Yeah, that's you're in wild shape. I believe it's your wisdom and your intelligence come over.
Oh, okay.
Bam.
Well, neat.
So that's a much better roll.
Yeah, I'm smarter as a wolf.
Smarter as a wolf. Oh, you got those instincts working for you, right?
Well, the real
Yeah.
question is, are you hungry like a wolf?
Oh, you know what? I kind of want to roll a d20 from now on, like every time I wild shape, just to see if the wolf, like the animal brain or the Iolanthe brain, takes over.
Well, in this case, it seems to be very much the animal brain. You are flooded
Okay.
with one sensation. Run.
Oh, good.
No, I mean
Uh,
like go. Run. As
Zoomies.
fast as you can. Yep, zoomies, go.
And like, are we trying to leave the forest, like book it out of there because of trouble, or just like because I'm a wolf and I'm happy to be in the forest?
Because you're a wolf and you're in the forest, and run. Go, 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 go,
Okay.
go, 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 go.
Iolanthe leans her head back and lets out a loud howl and just starts running around like kicking up dust and like drifting.
You see her center of gravity go down, and she just starts booking it all around this big clearing. And before long, she's actually disappears into the forest and starts running around. You just see trees like whirring by you. They're blurry, Iolanthe, and before long, you see the tail of Llanwyllin just in front of you, almost as if guiding you.
I chase.
You chase, you're running as fast as you can, just booking it, absolutely, as fast as you can go. You feel the wind in your face, your ears fold back, so that, because that's what they do. You just follow that tail. For a moment, you expect that Llanwyllin will proceed back to her own realm, but for some reason that doesn't seem to be happening. Something's wrong.
Like she's stuck.
That's the initial feeling you get, yeah.
All right. Wolflanthe starts like sniffing the ground, trying to find where she thinks would be an exit or something.
You start sniffing around. Go ahead and roll another perception check for me. This one will be with advantage because you
whoops.
have advantage on that. It's okay, just roll a second one. We'll keep the higher roll. They were both 7. Wow. Well, 18. 18, that's great. So
Yeah, at least it was a good roll.
as you start to sniff around, you pick up the trail of what you believe would be the appropriate magic. well, the appropriate something, magic, sure, that would constitute such a link between the two places. But as you approach, there's nothing there. The white wolf is not present, but you feel her presence just in the forest in general. It has not departed like you think it should have.
Can I speak to her in wolf form?
Of course,
no?
you can always speak to Landwell.
Okay, so she approaches. She doesn't see her, right?
You don't see her, but you feel her presence.
Okay, I guess I'll close my eyes and try to. She'll just kind of like ask out loud, "What's wrong?"
You while this is not something that is verbally stated, you are overwhelmed with the sensation it has begun.
What? I don't understand.
You receive nothing more.
Iolanthe starts like furiously sniffing around trying to find her or the magic or just anything. Like she's kind of panicking a bit.
The only scent you can pick up at this point, well, aside from what you have previously already detected, is the smell of your friends.
Okay, well she kind of goes running back to where they are and then turns back into her usual form and kind of pants a bit and she says, something's happened. I don't know. I don't know where she is. I don't know what happened. Something's happened.
Slow down, slow down.
She says it has begun. I don't understand. I thought we were supposed to stop this.
Does she mean the unraveling of time? Gods having problems? All of the above?
I don't know. She's gone. I can't feel her. I can't sense her. She's just gone. What do we do?
Tess thinks we need to regroup, try to clear our heads, and create a plan. When it comes to finding these orbs, we have to move as fast as possible, it sounds like.
Yes, let's go back. I don't want to be here anymore.
As you say that, through the trees, Falscrey returns to you.
You're awake. What happened? I'm getting some weird vibes out here right now. I'm not sure I like it.
Llanwyllin showed up. She spoke to me. She said we would have to prevent something from happening. And then she said it has begun, and now she's gone. And I don't know where she is or I don't understand. And she kind of like steps towards Falscrey and she like looks a little mad. She's like, why did you bring me here? What did you do to us?
I didn't do anything. I just primed you for the ritual, really. You wanted the vision.
What?
You came here for guidance. I only facilitated said guidance. What's wrong? What?
Iolanthe, it's not his fault. There's a tear in time As hard as it is to explain what's going on, we have to locate these orbs. Long story short, they're not from here. We have to return them.
I see. I see. Why don't you all head back to the temple? I think maybe I need my own clarity.
Tess makes sure that he gets his staff back.
Ah, thank you. Be safe.
We're going to get this handled. We're heroes.
Despite your reassurance, he still appears visually worried.
All right, so we're gonna head back to the temple.
Yeah, I believe so.
You said you would
Sounds
transform back, right, Iolanthe?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And the entire like walk back to the temple, she's like kind of like looking around a little bit like manically.
Tessa's gonna put her hand on Iolanthe's shoulder. Do not worry, we're going to figure this out.
I don't like this whole place. I don't know where to go or what to do. Usually she guides me, but what if she can't anymore?
It just sounds like she probably needs our help.
That does seem likely.
In this way, it is kind of your turn to step up for your goddess. But we are going to figure this out. We just need a plan.
You all right over there?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. I
Oh, sorry.
think you might have sneezed or something, and I was like, "Wait, is everything okay?"
Yeah, I had a little bit of a sneezing fit for a second there. Sorry.
No worries, that is allergies for you. 'Tis the season.
Is the season.
Well, so Yolanthe's just kind of walking along. As we get closer to the temple, she looks around to see if she can find that white light.
The white entity from before.
Yes.
You not in the city. Not since you entered the city. Maybe at the temple itself. Maybe in the temple garden, perhaps.
She runs towards it.
So I get at this point, you guys are all just proceeding to the temple, or are you
We're-
headed directly to the garden? Is it?
We're following along with Iolanthe, so
Yeah, we're making sure that nothing happens to Iolanthe.
It takes you a while traveling through town. It is almost as though it's almost as though the bustle of the city has become somehow quieter than before. You don't you still see all of the people kind of moving throughout the streets, but it's almost as though those sounds mean nothing to you. Let me get some other music going.
Where are we heading? Like we're going to back to the bar?
You said the temple garden?
Oh,
we were
okay.
heading to the temple garden first, yeah, but
Okay.
Where is that? Ah, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and change the music. As you approach the front of the temple, a lady that you met previously, her name's Penora, approaches you. This is her.
Oh yeah.
Yes, my fellow Kelvorite.
Has something happened? She looks directly at you, Tess.
It's complicated to explain.
Well, be that as it may, your presence has been requested below. At your leisure, of course. She has sort of a... Well, she has a serious look on her face, but as she talks, she sort of talks out of one side of her mouth, almost in a grin.
Ew.
So this is serious?
Very.
Could we perhaps, okay. Food will have to wait, and drink. Show Tess the way.
She leads you through the temple proper. Iolanthe, you lock eyes with Jalis, who nods at you on the way through. She looks like she knows what's happened, what's transpired, without it having to be told to her. Almost as though she is as sensitive as you to the presence of your goddess.
Okay.
You're led into this area behind the main hall of the temple, where a large and prominent staircase leads down beneath. As you're on the first level of the temple, the ground level, the ground floor, you know that this leads underground.
To the Kelvor temple beneath the Temple of Llanwyllin.
That's right. Where the temple itself is sort of teeming with life. There are vines, there are various plants, pretty much anywhere you look. As you're led down this staircase, the air becomes cold. It's rather dark in here, although you don't have trouble seeing. It's just very dim.
Is there like fungus, things that exist in those kind of areas? Or is it just like completely
Stuff
devoid?
for Tess to collect.
As far as the staircase is concerned, not as of yet, but it's a very long staircase. It seems to go down for a long, long way.
Tess will be holding Skirto's hand the entire way down.
Ah, yes, the bird hand. Yolanthe's favorite.
Yeah.
You all proceed down these stairs, and as the light becomes more and more dim, the smell of almost the same, or almost like a mildewy sort of cold smell seems to permeate the area. The staircase finally comes to an end, and this opens up into a large cavern, sort of cavernous area. There are some people very quietly moving about. There are candles that are lit, but the room itself has much sheeting around the sides of the room, and it opens up into a big dais at the front of this room. Doors flanking on either side, and stairs leading up to, like I said, this dais.
Oh, fancy.
I
must ask that your friends wait here.
Understood.
Iolanthe crosses her arms and scowls at I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Man, I'm bad at names. In this
Penora.
game.
Nora.
Penora. And she says, "You have to swear no harm will come to Tess. I don't want to disrespect your religion, but we're not too keen to split up unless necessary."
That's, not how things work here.
And she kind of growls quietly.
She'll be
It
safe.
But
will
she-
be okay. Just please watch over Scrito for Tess.
Okay. And she takes Scrito's bird hand in hers.
Make sure to grip the little feather fingers.
She cringes. She grabs the bird hand.
Make sure to really shake those feather fingers.
Penora leads you to the door on the left-hand side of the dais, and as it creaks open, you're led into a much smaller room with yet another door. She leads you up to the door and says, "As a Kelvorite, I'm sure you understand when I say what you learn in this room does not leave that room."
Tess swears.
Not even your friends can know about this.
Whew. Not any of them?
No. This is information shared only between us Kelvorites.
Understood.
She grasps at the symbol that's around her neck. The door creaks open. And beyond the door, a pitch black room. Every couple of steps, there's a sort of step down, as though this room kind of descends toward this final point. You can barely see in this room. Penora says a couple of words, and her talisman lights up. You now can see that this room sort of bowls out, sort of like a like an old theater, so to speak. And at the very bottom is sitting, eyes fixed on you, a huge black wolf.
Tess clears her throat nervously. Hello.
The presence, although the image is foreign, the presence itself seems very familiar to you. And what follows is a voice that you have personally heard before in your rituals. Another of my followers now knows the secret of the temple. He stands up on all fours, and as he steps onto the first step of the toward you, of the way out toward the door, his foot turns into a humanoid foot, and he transforms and takes the form of an elf. Tall and gaunt, pale. He approaches you, pitch black hair, and very prominent features, a gaunt face, large, pointing ears. Kelvor, or, as I was called in life, Cormac. You recognize the name. It's the mate of Llanwyllin,
It was a pleasure to meet you in person. I'm Tess. Tess believes we have spoken previously.
I'm aware of you and your exploits. I come to you with a problem. One that I think you may already know, only you can solve.
And what might that be?
He nods at Panora, who turns around and begins walking back toward the door. Something has transpired. Something sinister. Someone, I think you know who, has opened the gate between our two worlds and shut it behind us. As of right now, I don't know the extent of the damage, but I do know that myself and my love, we are trapped here. I don't think I need to explain to you why this is a dangerous thing.
Gods being trapped in the mortal realm definitely does not bode well.
Our powers on this side wane. Without our connection to our realm, we lose our spiritual connection.
This would tip the balance of everything.
If this persists, well, we will fade into obscurity.
It is hard to imagine a world with no gods. What can Tess do?
Learn more about what's transpired here. Solve the mysteries that lay before you. And furthermore, stop the mage, if you please.
We do intend to go after Helthius, but we're having a hard time understanding where to start and how to locate these orbs.
The orbs are in the possession of the mage. Of course.
But how to locate either, Tess is not sure.
He seems to be affixed on you and your friends. To what end, I don't know. It was when my mate and I were looking into things on our side that we were forced out, stranded here.
Does that mean there are potentially other gods that are either stuck here or stuck on the other side?
It does. Though, as I said, I don't know the extent of the damage. As far as I know, it was only Llanwyllin and myself attempting to kill the mage, as it were. Now, we are powerless.
Tess does know for sure that we are trying to figure everything out. It is just a lack of direction. That is the hard part.
Well, you're here. Fate has brought you here. As it brought Llanwyllin and myself here. This is no coincidence.
That is true.
You've been troubled as of late by strange occurrences. I think that too is no coincidence.
Yes, sometimes it just feels like everything goes silent for a moment, or just the people disappearing. But surely that is the result of the Terran time.
Could be. I don't remember any auditory... No.
Sometimes things just feel really weird for a second.
Interesting.
It's hard to describe, really.
I hadn't noticed. Though, now that you mention it, I will have to keep note of that. In the meantime, should you require my guidance or otherwise my services, I will be here, but I dare not leave the temple. You understand?
Tess understands. You are in a very vulnerable position, to say the least.
I would appreciate your secrecy about this matter, though, please, to your friend, the druid, let her know that my mate is okay for now.
Understood. Tess will try to report back with any findings and see if we can piece everything together. We will get this solved. Tess will be a hero.
Of course. I never had any doubt. Luckily, in my realm, matters are taken care of otherwise. There are those who toil in my absence to usher the dead. Now, you've a mystery to solve. And I've those around me to look after. My pack. And one final thing. He reaches out and grabs your symbol of Kelvor. He just holds it sort of in his hand. It's still attached to you, and then he lets it go. There. Go.
What was that for?
If you need me, all you need to do is grasp your talisman.
Oh, upgrade. Nice. Thank you.
He turns around, begins walking back to the sort of inner area. And as he begins transforming back into a wolf, he says, "By the way, your mother, she is well."
This catches Tess off guard, and she reaches for her mom's skull in her bag, and tears kind of well up in her eyes. But she bites them back. Thank you.
He curls into a sort of the crescent shape.
A croissant.
Yes.
Croissant dog.
You see his eyes shut.
Tess will take a deep breath and compose herself before turning around and walking back towards the door.
You open up the door, and on the other side, Penora has been sort of pacing, obviously, in this small room.
He is so mysterious, she says to Penora.
Not many outside the temple are aware of the existence of the mate of Llanwyllin being Kelvor. Most refer to Kelvor as the elf. We know him as the wolf.
Interesting. Tess was unaware.
Many are. But you were requested by name, and therefore you may come back as you please. Now,
Thank you, sister.
our Lord needs his rest, as I'm sure you've already been told. Let us proceed back to the Temple of Llanwyllin.
Agreed.
Balance in all things. She leads you back out, and you see both of them emerge from the rear chamber. Referring to you guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, Iolanthe is just kind of like taking little quick puffs of her pipe, and when she sees the two of them, she straightens up and kind of eyes Tess over to see if she looks okay.
Everything is fine. Tess is safe. Tess can also say that Llanwyllin is going to be okay. For now.
She tilts her head and looks at Tess, and she nods.
I mean, is everything awesome? Everything cool when you're part of a team?
We have a big mystery to solve. Let us head back and maybe get some food. Tess is kind of hungry.
I will never turn down a meal. Everything okay then?
As okay as it can be, considering everything going on. No direct answers, anything Tess can really say. All Tess knows is that we need to figure things out. We're here for a reason. Let's figure it out.
The Kenku mimics. We're here for a reason.
Exactly. Now back to the tavern?
To the tavern then. There is.
And Iolanthe doesn't respond, but she snaps her fingers, and 8 spectral horses appear again.
Woohoo!
I thank you.
Why is it not? Sorry,
is
it
it not
appears
casting?
my spell is not casting.
Why would that be the case? Let's see.
Foundry's being temperamental today.
Yeah. It already deleted my character. What else do you want from us? Well,
Here it goes.
cool. Perfect. So you guys mount up and head back to the tavern. We'll actually pick up from right
I don't-
here. Oh, what's that?
I don't think that was the right spell, but it doesn't matter. I guess we're about to rest anyway.
Yeah, it's cool. We're about to head back to the tavern either way. By the way, it is actually evening at this point. Well, it's late afternoon, let's say. So as you take off from the temple on horseback, it won't take very long to get to the tavern where you'll reconvene. But let's go ahead and go to intermission from right here. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and roll some ads for those of you watching, so don't be surprised when that comes up. I'm running them so that we don't get interrupted during the rest of the show. So I will see you guys back in 15 minutes. Enjoy your stretch, hydrate, and maybe snack break. We are back. Welcome back. So you all were headed back to What Ails Ya? The tavern where you have set up camp, let's say. Well, you've rented out the wing, right? It's hard to believe that this is only day 3. That you've only been in Shopabin for 3 days so far. So you're about to start day 4. Wild. But let's go ahead and cut over to that scene, and here we go. That should immediately, kicks up the music. Excellent. Excellent. As you come in, the bards here are playing a tune, and Kelvor and his wife Thrail are dancing, sort of in the center of the tavern. So you kind of enter this really festive kind of environment. Sarahi steps up to you, Ianfir. You're back. Did you find anything?
More questions, apparently.
Same as it ever was, Yestus says, kind of under his breath. I could use a drink. I'll be at the table you need me. He takes Sovereigns over toward the table. He goes through a wall to get there. You know, like he does.
He just passes
As
right
one
through
does.
it, like a ghost.
As one does. He opens up a portal to get through, like, just that particular section of wall. Seems a waste, really. Nothing at all, then.
Well, we know that whatever's going on seems to be affecting not only things that are going with us, but with the gods themselves.
The gods, you say? Ooh, you lot really are in deep, aren't you? Well, perhaps you can tell me all about it later. For now, a drink, food, perhaps?
Both sounds very nice.
Come be in. And he, Val also proceeds toward the table in the back here. Feel free to move your characters about as you please.
I mean, except for the whole disappearing through an invisible wall thing, or
Yeah,
That
you're
seems
not
to be
able
the
to do
trick I
that.
haven't learned.
Yep, no, not powerful enough. One day,
can't let you do that, Star Fox.
I mean, you might set the place on fire, knowing you. What? What is the... Wait, what is the icon that you have? Oh, concentrating.
I'm
Let's go
not
ahead
sure.
and drop that. You're no longer
Oh.
concentrating on anything.
Okay.
Trixie approaches the table. I get something for you. You can remember, you can see the menus by checking on these two here.
Tess will take some of your Stormcrest whiskey, please.
Of course. I mean, it's Trixie. Of course, of course. Oops.
And while we are at it, how about a mushroom cat burger?
Mushroom cat burger. A good choice, good choice.
Iolanthe kind of drums on the table. She says, I'm not hungry, but I could go for a drink. Just bring something good.
By good, you mean strong?
Yes.
I think I've got just the thing. She's gonna bring you a Riverstone rum.
Okay.
And Val's unable to purchase stuff, so we'll just handle that later. But Val probably orders a shitload of food and drink, and he's always hungry, isn't he? Roguish roasted ratatouille, yet another favorite. Mr. Ianfir, was it?
Yes.
Starting to hear your name whispered around, you know?
Oh, I get that a lot.
see here. Oh my god, where did that go? There it is. Haha. I keep missing it. There we go. Dragging these folks in here. One moment. There's a sudden noise coming from around the corner as you hear the door to the tavern open and shut. Walking past the place where you're sitting. As you look over, you notice the other adventuring party seems to have come in. Although they appear to be missing someone. They take seats around the table directly across from you.
Looks like we're not the only ones solving some mysteries.
How do you mean?
Well, I guess it could be possible, and she gestures towards the party that came in, that their friend is missing because of combat, or maybe he just disappeared.
Val turns around and looks.
They all seem to be there.
Iolanthe kind of looks at Val with a tilted head and looks over at the party again and says, maybe.
Well, if there's nothing else, I'll be on my way then. Trixie kind of saunters off. Before long, she brings back your food, drops it off at the table. Enjoy. And we'll see you in the morning, yes? Once again, sauntering off. The couple, Kelvor and Thrail, continue dancing in the sort of the open area. I don't want to call it a dance floor because it's not really like separated from the rest of the thing, but you know, off they go. They seem to be in high spirits.
Is this their anniversary?
Perhaps it is. You haven't heard anything. They're just laughing, carrying on, enjoying each other's presence. The bards are playing.
Iolanthe just kind of like stares at the table with a kind of like really thoughtful expression, just slowly sips her rum.
Phelan lowers his drink for a moment.
Once again, more questions than answers. It seems to be a running theme.
That is the life of an adventurer.
So it would seem. It has been non-stop action since I left Imagolkia. But not that I am unhappy for it or ungrateful otherwise. I am glad to have such good friends, even through adversity.
Tess will drink to that. And she'll take a sip of her whiskey.
Iolanthe sets her cup down on the table and says, "Do we have any idea where Healthiest could be?"
The last time we saw him was in the Mirrored Plains, was it not?
Do we need to get back to the mirror?
I'm unsure. If he has, in fact, gained some manner of control over time, he could be anywhere, really. We saw him... We saw him just vanish through some strange magic. I wonder if he can appear as easily.
It does seem like a possibility with how strong he is now.
In the greater part of the room, the song that's currently playing ends, and Kelvor grabs Thrail, who is he's kind of like dipped down. The two of them laughing, and the bards strum up another song. The two continue dancing. Yestus sinks down in his chair, sipping on a whiskey.
No leads. Damn. We're no closer to cracking this case, and man, I forget getting paid at this point. Isn't that always how it is, right?
Well, there's either being paid or there's stopping ourselves from just disappearing into nothingness.
You really think that's how it works? Just, you're gone, just like that.
Does seem like it.
What about
Who
that?
knows who else we've forgotten?
Oh, I didn't think about it that way.
It grosses me out to think about it.
Yes,
What if there's someone out there that...
there are bigger problems than getting paid.
Perhaps I forgot my parents. Or brothers, sisters.
And Iolanthe kind of thinks, and she shudders. She says, I definitely remember mine.
Perhaps we're overreacting.
Perhaps. And she looks again over at the couple, and then the bards, and then the other party, and then just takes a big drink.
The other party, they're drinking, laughing. They seem to be carrying on as though, it's merriment, general merriment.
Everyone else seems to be in such a good mood today, and maybe that's what we need, just to have some fun and not feel so burdened.
Indeed. Although it's hard to forget about all the things that we've seen as of late. What do you suggest?
The sound of the front door, once again. No one passes by this time, however.
I was about to say, do we see anybody from where we're at?
No, not from where you're at. Well, actually, no, you do. You do. It looks like you can
Oh, okay.
actually see the person. Someone has come in and sat down at the bar. You recognize them from before, but you never actually met them. Seems to be a small...
Where do I-
well, not small, but it seems to be a human female.
Okay. Where do I recognize her from?
Here, at the bar. She's perhaps a regular.
Okay.
She was sitting at the bar the first time you all walked in. I think in the same spot as well.
Sounds
Or
like
long.
regular to me.
Trixie approaches her. You see her jotting stuff down on a small notepad before she saunters off to the kitchen. She likes to saunter, you see. Well, in the interest of being in high spirits, perhaps some more food is in order. Drink, maybe?
Tess could go for another round.
I could go for another whiskey.
Scritto is just kind of quiet next to you. Sometimes he, lets out the smallest little coo.
Yeah, Tess always offers him food off her plate when she gets food.
You want some bread, little birdie?
It's a mushroom cat burger. You
Iolanthe
want some burger, little buddy?
Fucking
Sorry,
love
go ahead.
this burger.
Burger bird. Iolanthe gets up from the table and she kind of like tries to remember what everybody ordered. Yes, just with his whiskey, and Val just more food.
I wouldn't worry about that. I can take care of that off screen.
Okay. I was about to say, so she's taking all these because she can't read the menu. She's going to go talk to whoever's at the bar and just kind of sit next to that human.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, this should be fun. As you sit down, she kind of peeks up at you. After a little while, Trixie comes back over, drops a drink in front of her. There you are. And then kind of walks off.
Iolanthe does the thing where she's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I get you something?
Well, the others had some orders they wanted to place, but since, and she kind of ducks her head and kind of whispers, I can't read. I don't know what anything is, so can I just have the same as before?
Of course. And she goes back to the kitchen. Oh, actually, she approaches the table, takes whoever is ordering anything else, and then proceeds back to the kitchen. The human next to you, staring into her drink, silent for a while, then looks up at you. You need something?
Did I already get my drink? Or did Trixie,
No, Trixie's out making everything right now.
Okay.
You see her kind of come out of the kitchen with food, drops it off at the table, and then proceeds behind the bar where she makes your drink and sets it in front of you.
Okay. Iolanthe kind of like drums her fingers on the bar, like she's kind of staring off into space, not really paying attention, so I don't think that she registered what the human said.
She kind of turns towards you. Can't read, huh?
Oh, yes, I never quite learned.
Oh. I barely learned myself, so.
And Iolanthe kind of looks at her curiously. She's like, oh, well, that makes me feel a bit better, I suppose. What, did you just not have any interest, or?
Didn't have any parents.
I kind of relate, kind of don't. And she kind of watches Trixie making the drinks and food. I'm sorry to hear about, well, whatever story you might or might not want to tell.
It's not important.
Fair. And she accepts her drink, and she kind of cheers is at the human and takes a big drink.
The human follows suit, toasts you, takes a drink.
You come here a lot. I feel like I've seen you before, and we've only been here, maybe a couple of days.
I've been around. Started coming here thinking I could find some answers. It's not really how life works, is it?
Afraid not. We went looking for answers and came back with more questions, and I suppose that's just how it is sometimes.
Maybe it's the city. Maybe it's
Iolanthe nods slowly. She's kind of like, I feel like no offense, I don't know how tied here you are, but this place, I'm excited to leave it, to be honest.
Yeah. What if I had anywhere to go? She gestures toward Trixie and taps on the table. Trixie knowingly nods and sets another drink in front of her. Same thing. She gulps it down. Maybe it's the city. Maybe it's the fucking planet.
Iolanthe kind of takes a slow drink from her rum, and she's just kind of watching this girl now kind of curiously, and she's just like, go on.
Oh, you know, everywhere you go, there's stuff that's wrong. Everywhere. But you never find any answers. Only more questions. And she taps the top of her glass. Then raises it up and takes another swig.
Yeah. More questions. And then Iolanthe kind of like stands up off the stool. She says, well, I wish you good luck in whatever you need answers for. And she starts heading back over to the table.
Hey, you two. Happy drinking.
She nods and just kind of keeps walking. She comes and sits back at the table, apparently climbing across Eustace, and she sits at her seat and she just kind of says, this town is too weird.
What do you mean? What happened?
And she sighs and she says, the people here are just very strange.
Sarahi kind of looks over at you, cocked eyebrow. This has been an interesting city. I've never been to a magic school before, for one. And, nor have I seen so much magic intertwined with its peoples. Interesting, is it not?
Being so involved with magic. I mean, there is a chance the healthiest could be attracted to this city as well as to just watching over us.
It could be. Maybe that's why we're here.
Seems like we've kind of taken a tour of almost everything except for the school.
You think there might
Oh.
be more answers there?
Not really answers, but it might be worth just exploring.
In fear, the thought of going back to the college and exploring around, as Tess put it, probably grates on you a bit. How does that make you feel?
So, hearing this talk, even Fear started going like, you can see why I had a little bit of reluctance coming here. But even with sort of the unusualness, I had hope we would find some more information. But it seems even the library, with all its wealth of knowledge, just doesn't have enough for us right now.
Yestis looks up from his drink, his cheeks rosy red. He says, "You know, I find you stick around a place for a time. The answers, sometimes they just find you. Sometimes not really in the way you'd expect, but they do find you. Because you're looking." And he points at you. "Usually it's just me. I'm the only one looking."
Well, they better find us soon.
We will need to get access to that mirror again as well. It is a little nerve-wracking to have it out of our sight for such a long time.
Indeed, though we have been assured that it is safe. I too would like to actually set eyes upon it. Something to do come the morn.
Tess agrees. It is very important we make sure that everything is going well and that the mirror is being cared for properly.
What say the rest of you?
I think that sounds good. And then Iolanthe stands up and she's like, "I'm going to go to the library. If it's all the same, I will see you all in the morning."
See you in the morning then. Enjoy your book.
Have a good night.
And Iolanthe takes off out the door.
As you pass by the lady at the bar, you see that she is just kind of staring into her drink at this point. Not really talking or saying anything.
Iolanthe kind of gives her a little half-assed wave when she passes by.
She returns your wave. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove you from the scene here.
Okay.
Val, having cleared his plate and all of his drinks, he stands up and gives a long stretch.
Well, I for one am eepy.
Sleep well, friend. Have a good night.
He just meanders off toward the rooms.
I think I could use another one.
Well, Sarasi says, "I'm going this time. Come the morning. If it's all the same to you, Ianfear."
Well, you deserve to know as much as the rest of us.
Although, I admit, I am afraid to find out.
So, let me see if I understand this correctly.
And mind that I'm piecing it together from pieces that I've heard. And he points at Sarahi. "See, you supposed to be dead, or..." She kind of pulls her hands up. "That's what I hear." She kind of looks toward you, Ianfear.
That's how I remember it.
"What happened there? How'd you die?" Well, I don't really know. Kind of chuckles nervously.
Did I actually pull the article from the library? That's the question, because I know we mentioned that I had looked it up and we had seen it, but I don't know if I actually.
Yeah, you have it.
All right, but yeah, I'll pull it out and I say, "Here, take a look." But all I remember was finding her home ruined and her dead with a dagger stuck through her body.
Interesting. Did you actually, did you read this?
I mean, I saw the mention of the home.
House fire, huh? Doesn't say anything about a dagger.
Well, they probably, I don't know if they would have mentioned the dagger because, I mean, to be fair, it was my intent to take this dagger and shove it back through the person who used it, but
Don't tell me you can't find the person who used it. Well, let me
not
look.
yet.
Glances back over at Sarahi, whose face has become rather pale. I think I'm going to turn in for the night. And she stands up and abruptly just kind of walks off. I think I'm kind of understanding how that might have been a little insensitive, you know?
That poor woman, facing her own mortality. It is not easy.
Couldn't imagine.
Are you not going to try and comfort her, at least, Ianfir?
I wouldn't know how, to be honest.
Sometimes just being there is enough. She seemed very scared.
You say you were like friends or something?
We were close, yes.
Doesn't seem like a very friendly way to act, you ask me. No offense or nothing.
It's just... It's been a long time. And seeing her dead, I kind of made my peace with her death in that, you know, I understood it was the end. But with her reappearing in my life, you know, and I don't have the answers, and everything's just so confusing, and I can't really make peace with that.
I think I can understand that.
It is a complicated situation.
It seems like she's still looking to you for guidance, though.
Yeah.
Where are you looking? Well, that's enough for me. We got a case to solve and a lot of work to do. I'm gonna hit the sack.
Sleep well, friend.
You too. And he kind of like walks off.
I have a quick out of character question.
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking about the mirror in front of Eustace, Sarahi, probably Trixie. Like, are the two... I know Sarahi's going to the mirror. Is Eustace also?
Yeah, he's been traveling with you the whole time. He's
Yeah, but
he's,
for
he's
tomorrow...
yeah, that's the intention, it seems.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps you'll find out then. He looks like a capable mage. At least that's what you could gather from the couple of wands he's got on his person.
Okay.
Ian Fear, Tess, you are the last two standing. Well, three, really.
Not really.
Andrew's gonna kind of get up, and he's gonna
Okay.
say, "I'll be back." And I think he's gonna head out, but I think he's gonna sort of head towards the direction of Sarahi.
Okay, she went back toward the rooms. As you pass by the the first room up here on your right, you overhear when I make a joke, it's funny.
When I make a joke, it's funny.
God,
Yeah,
I would have loved to have seen Rex's reaction to the giant mystical wolf that appeared in his mind.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. First door, you see Yestis. He seems to be. He's taken his coat off and he's draped it over
Flashed
a
it.
chair. You see, he's kind of he's kind of going through a nightly routine. You see that he's wearing sort of like a cloth shirt with some suspenders over it, and he's now unbuckling this belt on which those two wands that I mentioned before are holstered. Coming up on the third room, though, you see Sarahi, who is planted at this table, just kind of staring into the candlelight.
As I come up to the doorway, I'll just sort of go,
Knocking.
"Yeah."
You knock on the door, poke your head through. She looks up and... Don't do that. You scared me. Sorry. She brushes sweat that's just beading on her forehead. Something you need.
It's just, I know situation is odd from both of our perspectives because we've been separated for a long time. From my appearance, even longer than you remember. But know that even with that, even with disappearing, I would not be who I am today, and I would not be what I am today if it weren't for your friendship and your love.
She opens her mouth and she mouths several words, but no sound seems to come out at first. Clears her throat. I'm afraid. What if I'm not supposed to be here? That silence was just like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I will say that no matter what things are or aren't, what matters is you are here now.
She locks eyes with you. always had that way to cheer me up when I was pissed off. Want one last drink before we crash out?
Well, maybe one more wouldn't hurt.
From close by, she pulls up a bottle, kind of old looking, and pours up a couple glasses. Guess we're probably going to get in some trouble tomorrow.
Trouble. Now that's an unusual feeling. I have no idea what that's like.
We're going back to the college. You going to be okay?
Well, I've come a ways from scared boy who spectacularly failed the final test.
I don't think you failed it.
And
I just think you pissed off Professor Torzalon.
well, be that as it may, I've learned to do magic my own way. And that way has helped people. And maybe some people can like it, and maybe some people can't. But I'm just going to continue to do things the way that I know how.
Well, good on you. I'm glad you found a way to help people. You always wanted to, you know? I'm really glad you're back. Hey, maybe later tomorrow? You want to go torment the sergeant? She, like, kind of bobbles her head sarcastically.
I'll say, well, I mean, he has gotten pretty big for his britches since, you know, he was there when we first got to the school. I need to remind him that, you know, he may have caught me that time, but he may be the thunder, but I'm the lightning.
Indeed. Indeed you are. Takes another drink. I'm still trying to get over the when I make a joke, it's funny.
We miss you, Rick.
Come back to us. You both finish up your drinks, and eventually she puts into bed. Meanwhile, you and Scriteau finish up your food, Tess. What will you do now?
Tess has pulled out the book she borrowed from the library about the communities of people and their cultures and whatnot, and she's just kind of gonna read that book until she inevitably passes out at the table.
The first entry that you read from that book is a little bit about this one human colony that exists in Imajokia. Apparently they... let me see if I can pull that up here. So yeah, they seem to live in these like rainforests, and they live as worshippers of Llanwyllin. They've created their own temples, and it talks a little bit about how they build their homes, and that very close by to them is a nest of very dangerous giant centipedes.
Ew.
Disgusting. She feels, because Tess is afraid of bugs, she feels a shiver run up her spine at the thought of that while she reads.
The book itself seems to be this account of an explorer extraordinaire, self-proclaimed, named Finnegan Quickfoot. Interesting name. They're very... seems to be very outspoken, very, well, not outspoken, that's not the right word. Seem to be a very lively individual. Will you be falling asleep here, or where will you be sleeping for the night?
Gonna pull the typical Tess maneuver and fall asleep at the table.
Okay. Before long, the bard's cut off, and and everyone kind of goes back about their business. You hear the front door a few times as people are leaving, but otherwise it's the sounds and the bustle eventually die down. Iolanthe, you arrive at the Hall of Cognition. Mineris once again sits down with you and reads you the next passage of the book. I'll get that updated before our next session. So that this is probably going to be the account of Llanwyllin at one point coming across a wolf named Cormac, who she rescues. And later takes as a mate. Some more details on that later.
Okay. Iolanthe is listening to the reading, and she asks the professor if he can teach her some of the common tongue alphabet.
Oh, of course. And he pulls out he goes over to the bookshelf and starts pulling out several books, and he starts showing you different letters and pronouncing them out loud and telling you about the way that they sound and so on and so forth.
I want to roll something to see if Iolanthe's a good, like if she picks up on things real quick or if she struggles with it.
That would be an intelligence check.
Oh wait, I'm not too bad at that. Okay, not
fact,
too bad, I guess.
You almost seem to be, it seems to be pretty intuitive to you. Although it's still very difficult to grasp. Not something you're going to easily learn overnight, obviously.
Yeah.
Mineris
but-
praises you for your, for your perseverance.
Cool.
I'm so proud.
Iolanthe feels really happy, and she's just like, I just can't believe how much of this I've been missing out on. This is fun. It's a good distraction, I think.
I'm glad. And thank you
And
for coming.
Yeah, and she stands up and stretches, and she says, I know you probably need more sleep than I do, and she kind of laughs, and then she's she just kind of says a quick goodbye and heads out towards the tavern again.
As you walk out, actually go ahead and roll a perception check, please.
Let's see. Oof, not too perceptive.
That's a 14. You have a high
Yeah,
perception.
but imagine how it should be. What do I perceive?
You, as you're leaving the library, you notice that Mineris pulls something from from within his robe, looks down at it for some time. You close the door as he is placing it back into a pocket.
What did it look like?
You're not sure. His back was turned.
Oh, okay. Well, she makes note of that, but
Must
just,
have been small, though, to fit in a pocket.
Yeah, something small. Okay, well, she makes a note of that and then starts. God, my nose sounds so stuffy right now. She makes a note of that and starts heading towards the tavern, kind of keeping her wits about her as she goes.
All right. Iolanthe, as you re-enter the tavern, it seems like everybody has vacated for the night
All right.
to their, rooms and whatnot.
She passes by the table and sees Tess.
Tess is crashed out on the table.
Is Scritto still there with her?
Yep. Scritto's asleep on the floor.
She sighs and she says, "Okay," and she goes over to put one of Tess's arms over her shoulders, and she tries to get Scritto to do the same on the other side so they can carry her off.
Scritto wakes up and helps you carry Tess back to the room.
I'm imagining Tess does not wake up at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
All right.
You just pass through the wall just like that. No, I'm just kidding you.
Boom. Wait, I have Misty. Oh well, I don't know if that works
No.
with 3 other people.
Nope. You would drop
thank you.
Tess. It wouldn't wake up.
She would sleep right through it.
All right. You are, you all, Iolanthe, are you just going to sleep there? Where are you going?
Nope. Iolanthe will do her usual routine of making sure she's in wolf form and curling up to just relax.
All right. One moment while I take care of that. There we go. You are now in wolf form.
Oh.
Everybody roll a
She
perception
doesn't do
check.
that. She sleeps.
Ian Fear, Tess, please. Ian Fear, Tess, and Iolanthe, please roll a perception check. Iolanthe, you have some trouble sleeping this evening. At one point, you wake up and you realize that very strange sensation that for just a moment there's some sort of ambient noise that's no longer present, and just as soon as the sensation comes, it is gone.
So Iolanthe, still kind of curious about her theory about if every time that happens somebody goes missing, she immediately gets up and checks, does a little roll call check. She sees Tess and Scritone here, so she's going out the hallway to see if she can see everybody else.
As you kind of walk through the halls, you take account of all the people. Seems like everybody's present.
I guess I go out to the... What time
As
is
you,
it, roughly?
As you approach that back room, you hear a... Didn't your mother give you since God gave a goat?
She cocks her head and then just keeps walking. Wolves cannot pass through walls, so I gotta follow my path. So
Come
she comes
out.
out here to the bar to see if everybody else seems like they're okay.
Trixie's chilling. She's got her feet up on a table, and Kelvor is at the bar, and you see him kind of wiping things down, getting everything ready for the morning. It's pretty late at this
Okay.
point.
She goes over to the bar.
Woof 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 woof.
Woof, woof, woof. She just kind of sniffs around And then I guess she just kind of like curls up and hangs tight for a sec.
Hangs tight.
Well, no, you know what? I think she's gonna actually go outside.
Going outside?
Yeah, why not? She can figure out this.
Go ahead
nickname
and roll a
more.
dexterity check.
Oh, okay.
Kelvor kind of watches you as you kind of jump up on two legs, start to yeah, you're able to hop up and pull this doorknob, and the door swings open, and Kelvor's like,
I mean, they've got a tower full of druids. They're used to wild shapes. He's not impressed.
Let it go.
you're going
He's
outside?
probably seen some cat like backflip off of the door to open it, so he's like, okay.
Where you
Yeah, I go
headed?
outside. I'm just gonna stand outside the building and just kind of sniff the air.
Everything seems normal. It's almost morning. You see people who are starting to come back into the streets to maybe go to work or, go about their daily routines. Still pretty dark outside, though.
Okay. She's gonna head over to the. Oh, I don't know. She's gonna head to the. You know what? You know what she's gonna do? She's gonna head towards the house we went to where the kids' drawing. I mean, not drawing. Journal was.
You're going to head back to that house?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me go ahead and remove
Or
you
at
from
least to that, like the street outside of it.
I'm going to go ahead and activate the landing page scene for the time being. So you head over to that house. The street around that area is still pretty devoid of people. It takes you about 30 minutes to get there.
And the whole while, she's kind of like sniffing the air, like seeing if anybody, like if she can smell any kind of distress or anything weird, like anything that's amiss.
No,
Okay.
everything seems normal here.
All right, so she comes to the street where that house is, and she looks at the house next to it to like kind of see if she can hear or smell or see anything weird.
House seems the same as before. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. $18. Everything seems normal here.
Okay.
Nothing changed since the last time you've been there.
All
Hey,
right.
Puggle,
Well,
welcome in.
she's going to. She's just kind of gonna do a little like stroll through the town. Like she wants to walk past the temple. I don't know the best like route to take this. That's kind of like the shortest. But she wants to walk past the library, the temple, and the area in front of the school, like as close as she can get to the school without like them shooing her away.
Oh, thanks for the follow there. Appreciate that.
Yeah, boy.
Getting from the temple, or getting to the temple from the from this particular location in the upper city is probably going to take about another 30 minutes. Big city, right? The map doesn't
Yeah.
really do it justice, but you eventually find your way there. As you do, the sun is coming up. So those of you in the party who are early risers, do you all think you would be waking up at this point? Tess wouldn't. Tess never.
I
wakes
imagine
up
I
early.
would.
Tess always sleeps in.
Tess
We're
always
elves.
sleeps in.
Well, half
Squirto,
elf
on the other
probably
hand,
would.
might be awake though.
Iolanthe, you begin to see people who are walking into the temple, perhaps to report in for the day. You do see Jalis, who nods at you on her way there. Or actually, no, you're in wolf form. She probably wouldn't recognize you. I'm going to go ahead and reactivate what ails you here. And hopefully that doesn't duplicate our music. It totally did. So, like I said, at this point, sun is starting to come up. So
Okay.
everyone's starting to kind of move around for the day. Let me go ahead and drag these folks back out. And if your Sarahi wakes up.
And I'll say, I hope you enjoyed the rest. I also hope it won't cause your parents too much distress to be away from the home.
They know where I am. And that should be enough. To be honest, since you left, I go here and there. Spent a couple nights in the Enchantra, you know?
I just know how important it was for you. Especially being with your father. Because I know it took you getting him to support me.
Huh. Well, my father is who he is. You know, we've never seen eye to eye, really. He's a difficult man to get along with. But he is my father. But let's start the day off positive. Hungry?
I could definitely go for some food.
As could I. She kind of crosses around. Oh. You bump into each other. She goes, "Ope."
Oh, I'ma just squeeze by you.
You both proceed out into the into what ails you proper. Seems like Rek has chosen to stay asleep once again.
Iolanthe dared him to drink the sleeping potion.
Right? Or maybe he had already done that by the time you dared him. As you come out, you notice Val, Yestis, and Darkul actually sitting at the bar. Yestis and Val are both sipping on some drinks, and Darkul is chowing down on some grub. You approach the bar with Sarahi. Kelvor approaches you and says, "Hey, Ian Fear, good morning. What do you have?" Ian Fear?
Sorry. I'll say, yeah. Let me take a look. Where's, I'll say, where's Thryle?
Who? Somebody you know?
I would hope so.
He kind of cocks an eyebrow at you. Are you feeling okay?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I did just wake up, so.
Well, if you get hungry or thirsty, you let me know.
Okay.
He kind of continues going about his business, cleaning up the various, glasses, plates, that kind of thing. Tess, at this point, you feel a little feathery hand.
My Scrito alarm.
Your Scrito alarm is going off.
Oh.
Thank you, buddy. Are you hungry?
Curious.
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 Can Tess see? Friend. No, Tess is gonna get out of her bed and show Tess the way.
Scrito proceeds up the hall and through the into the bar proper. Want me to drag you with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just kind of like
Wee.
DM magic through the wall. You approach. You see everybody sitting at the bar, and Kelvor is tending. Hey,
Good morning, everyone.
Tess. Good morning. What can I get you?
Good morning, Kelvor. Where's your lady friend at?
Who? You mean Trixie? She's over there.
Oh. Just, an omelet or something would be nice.
Hey, omelet coming up. You catch that, Trix? And she stands up. I did. And she goes to the kitchen.
Tess is going to solemnly go sit off to the side with her thoughts.
Iolanthe, you're back at the temple. What are you doing?
I think she wants to go. I think she wants to go back to the garden.
Behind the temple is it's actually quite a large garden. There are a lot of different vegetables, and there's sort of like an orchard back there as well. Seems like somebody has been, it seems like they regularly come back here and tend the land.
Okay.
This is a pretty commonplace fixture at Temples of Llanwyllin that you recall seeing as you have traveled and seen them. They tend to grow all kinds of food that they give to the needy and that sort of thing.
I think that she really wants to go back to the forest.
Alone?
Yeah.
It's going to take you about an hour and a half to get there. Hour and a half? Yeah, about an hour and a half from where you're at. Half an hour to get back to the center of town, and then or to the town square, and then about an hour to reach the Enchantra itself. So while that's happening, at one point, Kelvor, having finished up whatever task he was doing at the bar, kind of meanders off toward the kitchen here, perhaps to help Trixie. Before long, Trixie comes out, sets your food in front of you, and then leaves back toward the kitchen. Is something wrong, Tess?
Perhaps it's something we can talk about a little later, when there's more privacy.
I see. Well, with that, we'd better close off right here. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for the follows, and it's also good to see you, Commander Puckle. Thank you for coming out. Oh, why is it? Okay, I don't know why I did that. Let me go ahead and switch over to this screen right here. All right, everybody. This is it. I will see you all in 2 weeks. And we will conclude what might be transpiring here in the bar. And also in the Enchantra as well. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Take care. And as always, I'm VGpunx. Keep a song in your heart.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.